Yes, peeps. What's happening there? My name's D, aka Crusader, aka the Black Falcon. Welcome back to my channel, Global Distortion Media. Now, today, we're going to be continuing our creative distortion discussions, and today we're going to be speaking about sound design. But just to let you know, under these discussions, we're going to be speaking about everything in the creative sector. Everything from theatre production to writing to directing to music production to mixing and mastering and AI discussions versus creativity. We're going to be covering everything. But today, we're going to continue our discussions really aimed at people who are interested in sound design and the art and craft of how you design sound for moving image. So if you're a beginner, this is where you need to be right now. I'm going to show you a few basics in terms of what to think about when you receive some footage which doesn't have sound, and you have to actually really look at what it is you've received and determine how you can bring that to life through sound. So without further ado, let's get into it. So as you guys can see, we've got a moving image there, a very short AI generated clip of a man running through the jungle being chased by a very big lion. All right. Now, again, I reiterate, sound is usually something that is placed at the very end of a production. So very often, you as a sound designer will receive scenes like this with no sound. So your job is to try to design the sound for each scene that you receive, right? You have to make that sound realistic and you have to make it appear to be true and genuine. Now, how you do that is entirely up to you, but the end result must be believable, right? So, what do we have here? What do we need to consider? What would I suggest you consider first? The first thing I would suggest you consider is the environment. Where is this man? This man seems to be in a jungle. Okay, cool. So, in a jungle, what kind of sounds would you expect to hear? Right? That's the first thing I would say that you need to consider. You need to think about the acoustic environment, right? So those sounds could be the sounds of birds. But remember, you need to do your research. What kinds of birds are in this jungle environment? Are they in the Amazon? Are they in Epping Forest, which is unlikely because lions probably don't run around Epping Forest. But you know what I'm saying? You got to really think about your environment before you even think about the sound, right? So let's assume for this video that it's the Amazon. You need to do your research about the kinds of sounds that are in the Amazon, from monkeys to uh, 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 birds, exotic birds, to even the sounds of certain insects flying around. Um, these are things that you actually really need to consider. So just thinking about the sonic environment, you again may need several different sounds that you need to outsource, record, put together, and then make a believable soundscape. So I just want to pick up on something that I said earlier in terms of sound being the last thing that is normally done on a production, and that a sound designer will probably receive files with no sound. So that also depends. If you have an on-set sound recordist, obviously his job is to record the sound in real time, and you probably would get those files too as a reference. You wouldn't necessarily rely on those sounds without treating those sounds. So yeah, in many cases you would have some kind of a sound reference to go by as a sound editor. Yeah, so you have a sound recordist and you have a sound designer slash editor. So once you've determined that your environment is what it should be, you should move on really to what's going on in that scene. So you have a man that is literally running for his life. Yeah. So you need to look at his footwear, I would say, first of all, and you need to replicate the sound of his footwear in real time. Yeah, that means, was he wearing trainers? Is he wearing high heels? Is he wearing boots? Establish that first. And then you would need to, well, if you want to do it properly, record the sound of boots running to that image. So what you'd probably do, you'd probably have that image on a big screen if you were in a studio. You'd set up your sound and you would run at the same pace as that man in the image is running and record those sounds. That way you get the timing correct and you also get the correct sound of the boots he's wearing. Bearing in mind, he's wearing boots and he's running in a jungle environment. So those boots are landing on grass, broken trees, leaves, etc. So you would have to replicate that environment within your studio, your sound studio, to make sure that you are getting the correct sound for that particular image. So then once you've got your sonic sound landscape and you've also recorded the sound of the man running, you need to move on to the sound of the lion. Now, the lion has 4 legs instead of 2. So that is immediately going to make you think about how you can synchronize the sound of the lion chasing this man. His paws need to touch the ground in a certain way, and it's not going to be the same way as the human. So again, you need to really consider that. Again, these sounds don't need to be all loud and at the forefront, but they could be recorded and then placed in the distance via the mix to make it just sound real. A lion's not going to run on the floor without making a sound. Is the point? Nor is the human. I mean, I would say lions generally, when they're chasing their prey, make a certain sound, a certain grunt. You'd need to think about that, and you'd need to also apply that also to that short image. That image is only 5 seconds long, but again, within those 5 seconds, you can already see how many things you need to consider from a sound perspective to bring that scene to life. And again, that is your job as a sound designer. It doesn't matter how you get there, your job is to bring that scene to life through sound and believable sound as well. So there you go, ladies and gents. Again, that was just another short example of how you can approach sound for beginners. Please check out the other video that we put up, the first video, Sound Designers for Beginners. And look out for more content. If you can like, comment, and subscribe, it would mean an awful lot to us. Thank you so much, and we'll see you on the next episode. Peace and love.